I love football. That goes without saying. And about a year or two ago, I made a video saying why I don't like college football. I'll leave that linked in the video description if you haven't seen that. But there's something that is going on right now that is furthering my dislike or it's more of a hindrance of me getting on board with the sports train that is college football. Temple University, it's a college here in Philadelphia, and their team is undefeated with a huge game against Notre Dame tomorrow. This game is to be the hardest game on Temple's schedule, and in all likelihood, if they win this game, which there's a chance they may, they will run the table and go undefeated this year. So past week or two I'm like, oh, maybe I should show some sort of interest in Temple football here because they're about to, shock the world here potentially. Shock America anyway. Shock America and just, this small college out of Pennsylvania, out of Philadelphia, could win a national championship. Until I heard this week that there is 0% chance Temple can play for a national championship no matter what they do, because the BCS ranking takes into account strength of scheduling to establish its ranks. With that being said, Temple does not have a hard schedule or doesn't play harder schools all that often. Spare a Notre Dame here, a Penn State to start the year. There's a lot of other, majority of their games are just smaller schools that aren't in contention to, play for anything. So I'm like, wait a second. Are you trying to tell me that Temple could finish the year undefeated and not play for a championship? The fuck is that shit? Me as a fan that's potentially looking in and saying maybe there is something to this college football and there's a team in my home city that's good, that could challenge anyone, but they're not going to get the chance to because their strength of schedule is so weak compared to an Ohio State, a USC, a Michigan, etc., etc. And I'm like, what kind of dumbass logic is that? And that's the logic that college football operates under. It's so arbitrary on who faces who, where it doesn't matter if you beat the people on your schedule. Oh, you know what, man? You know what? It is Temple's fault. They should have picked a harder schedule. No, wait, they don't pick their schedule. So not only do they get penalized for having a softer schedule compared to the big schools, but they didn't pick their schedule to begin with. So they're getting double fucked for the fuck of it. I'm sorry, but I was trying to get in this whole college football thing, and frankly, it was just bandwagoning, and I really hate bandwagoning. So in retrospect, I'm glad I didn't jump onto the Temple train, because frankly, they're good. They're probably gonna, even if they lose against Notre Dame, they could possibly run the table, finish the year with one loss, and play in a good bowl game. And that's another thing about college football. Who cares? If you're not playing for the national championship, who gives a fuck? Does anyone care who won the Meineke Muffler Bowl last year? Does someone talk shit somewhere saying we don't win the BCS, but we won the Meineke Muffler Bowl and your team didn't? That means fuck all. It's just another game the schools make money out of these students and pay them nothing on top of everything else. But that's a whole different story. But yeah, I'm sorry. I can't get onto this train, and the fact that people are saying well, there is still a technical chance that Temple could get a national championship game. That is, if all the big schools that are ranked in the top 10 end up losing one or two games and Temple's undefeated, they're going to have no choice but to throw them in there. But let's realistically look at it. There's going to still be a few big schools that finish the year with just one loss. And they're saying even two losses doesn't even necessarily knock Temple out. I'm like, what? An undefeated team is going to be ranked worse than a team with two losses? That's a legit possibility. Oh my God! I'm trying to get into this whole college football thing, But man, that's all the more reason why I back the NFL even stronger. Because the NFL, as I've said before, stands for not fucking lame ass college fucking football. And with shit like this happening, with shit like an undefeated team not able to get a shot at a national championship because their schedule wasn't tough enough, can't get into that. Anyways, I'm sure like some college fans out there, and I know this isn't the first time this has happened. There's been a number of teams that have had a good record but had a weaker schedule. But you know, Oregon and Ohio State end up in the national championship over them and stuff like that. I know there's a playoff system. You got to still be the top 4 teams, but I can't get into this. I don't know. So someone explain to me why either I'm insane or I'm just not giving this a fair chance or whatever, because I'm all ears. Because I love football, but every time I try and pay attention to college football, something like this pops up and I go, why waste my time? Why waste my time supporting a home team that could get the attention of the country, but that's not going to get that shot to get the attention because their schedule's too soft? That is fucking lame as shit. And frankly, I'm glad I'm sticking with the NFL above all else. It's a great breeding ground for NFL talent. That's pretty much the one thing I'll give college football extreme credit for. I mean, it's a great atmosphere and all that. I understand, what it's like to beat a game and all that shit. But to actually follow it and put stake in it, like, unless I really give a fuck about who wins the Meineke Muffler Bowl, I ain't gonna invest in it unless my team is unless you live in a city or you support a team that's a big school. You ain't gonna have a chance of celebrating a national championship, and that's fucked up. That's fucked up. I can't support that. Anyways, the floor is yours. Have a good day, everyone.